So the $2 million into campus safety, this was some legislation that SGA worked on over the past year, and it's something that's really important and like a core mission of our Student Government Association to provide a safe, lit campus for all students. And so they passed the legislation last semester, and now this is part of the implementation. So the story behind why I chose this topic was, where is it going to happen? Where did the money come from? The statistics, crime-wise, why is this important on our campus? And then really talking to the UGA Police Department, so we have their perspective, and then also the student government, where they're coming from and why they personally thought it was important, instead of just my own opinion on why I valued our safety and where I kind of felt that this topic fell within our campus. So breaking down this story, I went back to the 2018 crime report statistics to see where exactly we were lacking on campus, and kind of over the past couple of years where these issues, if there was any trends. I looked at that. Then I looked at a map geographically on campus, talked to SGA about what locations they saw, and then students where they saw. I did interviews with other students to see if they matched up in correlation, and of course they did. And then just the UGA Police Department also was a great advocate to tell me, well, this is where we see the issues and how we're going to move forward as a whole team and unit working with the Student Government Association. So I saw that the Student Government Association was starting this initiative and talking about more on social media, that they were trying to implement the funds into new technology on campus. So it was something that was starting to get kind of momentum this semester. And so then I followed up and I was like, okay, well, this is where they're saying some of these locations are. Let's go to those locations. Let's talk to some people who are there at night, who are dealing with when they're saying there's no lighting. Let's go see what it looks like. So I talked to an intramural soccer player, and he voiced that it is an important thing to be able to have safety, to be able to get to your car at night, because intramural sports are really important to some of our students on campus. They spend hours out there into 10:30, 11 o'clock at night on weekdays, so it's very dark at those hours. And besides on the intramural fields, when you go to the parking lots, that area of campus is more desolate. There aren't as many people out there. So to have those areas properly lit, hearing that human impact, hearing that he had concerns and that this was validated with what SGA was doing on campus, that their missions they coincided and they aligned together. I thought there was a story there, and so I kind of got that intuition as a journalist, and then decided to follow it. And I think it really panned out as a multimedia piece, because you were saying one of the things I was really most proud of was one of the visuals that showed the sun coming up on campus. And because this story, it really does talk about how at night our campus is a totally different place. It's darker, there are less people on here, there's just a different atmosphere. And so it's important to make sure the safety remains pretty much the same at all hours of the day to ensure safety on our campus. I believe multimedia journalism is really important for the viewer to be able to digest the material in a more visually appealing way. And so they can see something and be entertained and have something pulling them along as they're going throughout, and it's not just text. So in this article online, I included a map, I included documents, hyperlinks, videos, photos. There were a wealth of different types of media involved. So there was a little bit of everything. There was sound, there were visuals, and so it just kind of was like a breadcrumb. It kind of kept the viewer looking for something else. What was next? And I think that's where we can captivate a different group of viewers, and that's really what now in our industry, that's what the viewer is wanting. So I think that's really important as journalists, is that we strive to create these more fuller. They may take longer to produce these type of stories. I worked on this story for 3 or 4 days, and so to get these interviews, to create the different visuals, to work with the different mediums, it takes time. And so to be able to present these fuller stories, we just need a little bit more time to really work with the content. And I'm really excited and happy with how it turned out. All of the elements that were included in the web article were different classes and techniques that I picked up along my progression within Grady. So I took my Video 1 class and I learned how to shoot packages. I took a photography class. I took editing was involved. And then of course your general writing classes. Those are really important. So it all is just like a foundation, and you're building a little bit at a time. You're going to develop this more in-depth, well-rounded storytelling ability, and that was really something that was, to become a really strong storyteller, it takes time. You have to know who you are, you have to understand your ethics, you have to understand what goes into a good story, why you're telling that story, who you're going to impact, and who the viewer is. So there are multiple steps that go into the type of content that Grady has instilled in us as journalists that we're going to go out and produce in the world. So it is a little daunting at first, but if you really take the time and pull on your resources within Grady and the faculty, they're here to set you up for